Hey gang, today we are going to talk about how to stay true to yourself and to your goals during the holiday season. Now, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, or you're getting ready for the Chinese New Year, there are tons of holidays this season that we all have to plan for and plan around, regardless of your personal beliefs, right? So here's the big question. Can we really have it all as high achieving women during the holidays? And the answer is an emphatic yes, but. There is definitely a yes, but. So it's a massive yes, comma, but if we plan properly. That's it, bottom line. So the key to your success and to your sanity this season is proactive planning. You know, one of the things that I always work with my clients and my students during this time of year is that it is entirely possible to make money and cookies during the holiday season. It is entirely possible to make money and memories during the holiday season if you plan in advance as follows. So this is what we're going to talk about today, is how to get it done. So first thing that we have to discuss and focus on is, again, we're going to start with the end in mind and take a look at what does success mean to me? What are my goals for this holiday season? So maybe you've got health and weight loss goals. Maybe you've got income goals. Maybe you are working on producing a new product or launching a book, or you've got family finance goals. Whatever your specific goals are, we've got to be very clear on exactly what those look like. Because as we know, it can be challenging to hit a moving target, but it is darn near impossible to hit an invisible one. So perhaps now more than ever before, it is critical that you get crystal clear, write down exactly what are those goals that you want to accomplish even now in the holiday season. And you have to ask yourself, are these goals still important to me right now, even during the holiday madness? Is my weight loss or my health or my income goals, are these things still important to me? And if the answer is yes, then what you got to do, mama, is you got to hold your ground. You've got to put the plan in place, and then you've got to really lock in on those boundaries. And I can give you a couple of tips on things that I have learned that work so well for me and everybody that I worked with over the last many years of this holiday cycle. So first thing that you want to do after you have set your goals and really recommitted to those goals even throughout the holiday season. And second thing is to make a decision about your priorities. Okay, so if I know that my priorities this season are accomplishing these goals, and then I've got certain family priorities, or I have faith-based priorities, you've got to get very clear on what are those critical few priorities that you're going to focus on during the season, because you can't do 50 things well all at once. Okay, now there's something very important that I want to point out here, and we all know it, but sometimes we get lost in it. And I just want to remind you that the vast majority, like the overwhelming majority of holiday madness is complete commercialization. It is the marketing and the bureaucracy and the social media world, the advertising world, the big corporation world programming us to think that we have to do all of these things in the holiday season because it convinces us to live as consumers. And at the end of the day, do those things really make a difference to what matters to you the most during the holidays? So you've got to decide what of that consumerism propaganda you're going to sift through and you're going to ignore and delete, and which of those things are actually really important to you and your family. So, for most of us, it would be very easy to get sucked into holiday party after holiday party after holiday party, and we're, this event and that event, and we're plumb exhausted at the end of it. And all we have to show for ourselves is some extra pounds on the scale and some extra credit card debt come the beginning of the year. And that's not really what any of these holidays are all about. Are you with me? So you've got to decide, are you going to be programmed as a consumer where you are swept away and sucked into all of this marketing madness? Or are you gonna stand clear and hold your ground on those few priorities that are really important to you? So maybe you wanna identify what are your personal priorities during the holiday season and what are you not gonna get sucked into. So maybe you wanna cook the yummy foods with your family, or you wanna do the holiday customs with your family, or you wanna spend some time with charity and philanthropy, and really write down and mark out what those things are. Okay, then take your calendar for the month and look at, how are you gonna fit all those pieces in? We know the story, we talk about it all the time with the big boulders and then the rocks and the sand and the water. So you've gotta fit the big boulders into the mason jar first, then the rocks, then the pebbles and the sand, and then the water. And they only go in that order. If you try to put the sand in first, the rocks are never gonna fit in, right? It's the old analogy on prioritization. So when you're looking at your calendar for the month, put those big things in first, okay? So whether those are your goals, your faith, your family, what those priorities look like. And then every other invitation that comes your way, every other marketing whim, every other, preview for this movie or that, or this holiday custom or this tradition, and it's all feels like nostalgic fun, but at the end of the day, you really want more to show for yourself than some extra credit card debt and some extra pounds on the scale, right? You really want to show that you were true to yourself this season. You want to show that you were true to your goals and that you did not lose sight of the big picture of the mission and the vision. And here's what I know. Women of vision can always see past one day on the calendar. These holidays, it's just one day, or it's 1 week, or whatever your custom is. But it is 100% possible to still move the needle forward and move your family goals forward, even amidst all of these things. And I want you to remember that the true legends, the greats, the champions of the world, they don't succeed because life stood still. They made a decision to succeed in spite of all of the drama and the hectic schedules and the challenges and the obstacles that they face in life, and getting clear on your mission, your vision, your goals, your priorities, and then mapping it into the calendar is a mission critical piece. How do you live your dream life? You schedule it. And when you put it on paper, you can move things around like pieces of a puzzle. Kind of think of it like Tetris blocks, right? You can move those pieces around and make it all fit. But if you're living up here and you're not putting it on paper, it is so easy to get swept away by the madness, the marketing, the hubbub, the hustle, the invitations, and you live with guilt, you live with FOMO, and trust me, there is nothing more peaceful in life than JOMO, right? The joy of missing out. I want you to have the best holiday season ever with your families. And the way that you do that is you get clear on your life purpose and your mission. You get clear on what are your priorities this holiday season. You make a decision whether you're gonna stick to those goals, and if you're gonna be true to yourself and true to those goals during this holiday season, Or if you're just gonna press pause, let a month go by and then pick it up at the end, and if that's what you choose to do, that's okay. But be mindful and purposeful with that decision, because if you make that decision on purpose, there's no guilt and there's no shame. The guilt and the shame and the self-judgment come when we make those decisions reactively and subconsciously, and we make them out of self-sabotage and not because we're choosing proactively to press pause on that goal and to be present in some other area of our life. Are you with me? Remember, time invested in one area is time away from another. So I want you to be purposeful with your time instead of, just putting out fires and screaming with your hair on fire and just living by the seat of your pants. If you are purposeful, if you are intentional, if you are clear on your mission, your vision, your goals, and your priorities, you really can have it all, do it all, and experience that dream that you are working so hard to create. You got this, mama.